Okay, so this is your King of Kings. It's Friday, April 19th, about 11 o'clock at night. And I'm just kind of getting ready to pack my day in, and I thought I'd give you a little talk before I do. As I mentioned before in this series, I'm going to do a little scripture reading, both in the Quran and as well as the Bible and Bhagavad Gita. In any event, we're working on Isaiah right now, and it was Isaiah 4, I guess. No, 3. Isaiah 3. Part of Isaiah 3. It reads, "Money lenders oppress my people, and their creditors cheat them. My people, your leaders are misleading you, so that you do not know which way to turn. The Lord judges his people. The Lord is ready to state his case. He is ready to judge his people. The Lord is bringing the elders and leaders of his people to judgment. He makes this accusation. You have plundered vineyards, and your houses are full of what you have taken from the poor." And the Jews are still doing that today, like in Palestine. They're bulldozing vineyards that people have had for hundreds of years, building houses for themselves, saying "fuck you" to their neighbors. They do this all the time on one. They're like a little guy, complex. "You have no right to crush my people and take advantage of the poor. I, the Sovereign Lord, have spoken." Sovereign Lord Almighty have spoken. He goes on here, warning to the women of Jerusalem. The Lord said, "Look how proud the women of Jerusalem are. They walk with their nose in the air. They are always flirting. They take dainty little steps, and the bracelets on their ankles jingle. But I will punish them. I will shave their heads and leave them bald. A day is coming when the Lord will take away from the women of Jerusalem everything they are so proud of. The ornaments they wear on their ankles, and on their heads, on their necks, and on their wrists. He will take away their veils and their hats, the magic charms they wear on their arms at their waists, the rings they wear on their fingers and their noses, all their fine robes, gowns, cloaks, and purses, their revealing garments, their linen handkerchiefs and scarves, long veils worn on their heads. Instead of using perfumes, they will stink. Instead of fine belts, they will wear coarse ropes. Instead of having beautiful hair, they will be bald. Instead of fine clothes, they will be dressed in rags. Their beauty will be turned to shame. The men of the city, yes, even the strongest men, will be killed in war. The city gates will mourn and cry, and the city itself will be like a woman sitting on the ground, stripped naked." Now, I think Hitler did a pretty good job of fulfilling on this prophecy. I don't think it was his intention. But it was predicted that this would happen if you don't listen. If you fail to exercise manners and relations with your fellows. You want to steal, you want to cheat, well, this is what you're going to get. Now, a lot of people think, well, that's just the Jews. I'm not Jewish. I don't have that problem. Well, the laws of God are not just for the Jews. The laws of God are for all sentience, all consciousness. All right. Okay, and so Isaiah further goes on to say, "When that time comes, 7 women will grab hold of one man and say, 'We can feed and clothe ourselves, but please let us say you are our husband, so that we won't have to endure the shame of being unmarried.'" And you see, this is again about the consciousness shift that is coming. It is occurring. It has occurred already, but it just hasn't occurred for everyone. And the thing about unmarried women is they are a serious perversion. Like a really professionally, especially if they're in a professional, they're doing a professional job like a jurist or any kind of politician. Anytime you give a woman a stick and a couple other women around to egg her on, she'll hunger to use it, and she'll use insanity to support her come with her new stick. Yeah. Integrity Commissioner in the City of Toronto. This is such a fucking joke. Unbelievable. The appearance of checks and balances. Anyway, this newly appointed Integrity Commissioner was frothing at the fucking pelvis and mouth. Can't remember her name in the free newspapers in this town. I don't think any of the substantial papers would have anything to do with her. But anyway, she's frothing at the mouth about the what's the point of having an Integrity Commissioner if she has no power? The mayor conned somebody into donating $3,600 to his hockey team, and she wanted him fired, tarred, feathered, and thrown out of the city of Toronto for that atrocity. Oh, yeah. I had a detective in the York Regional Police defect a fucking leech. Come to court to have a good cum, have me appear in court for no fucking reason whatsoever, so she could have a good cum. Watching me stand there, knowing she was fucking me right up the ass completely. No crime committed. There I am, tall, good-looking guy, never asked her out, never took her to the fucking prom. She got one up my ass. Must have been 7 occasions. Nobody else in the courtroom, just the judge, her, and me, just saying, "What are you doing here, sir?" And I said, "I have no idea, Your Honor." There she are. Horny cunt. Just like Laura Huggins. Another horny cunt that wanted her civil servant's hand job so bad that I wouldn't give it to her. She perjured herself to have me arrested and thrown in jail for having attitude. Government employee. The government knows this perjury occurred. And there's no doubt in anybody's fucking mind whatsoever. But they're uninterested in that. That's a crime that one of our guys did, and we don't notice those. We only notice the crimes of the disadvantaged. You see, what they fail to forget is I wasn't always disadvantaged. I'm my worst fucking nightmare. I've been to the boys' club. Yeah. And I know the difference. There's two sets of laws in this country. There's democracy. There's the people you have to bother with. And then there's the riffraff, like your king and others like me. Jurisprudence feels quite competent to ignore any search for truth whatsoever in any issue of those they've nominalized. They feel that they are quite entitled to ignore reality. They went to school, don't you know? They got their education and stuff. They even speak fancy Latinese to keep the riffraff out of the dialogue that's occurring in the courtroom. It's an exclusionary practice set up to support the princess of the craft only. If truth gets stumbled across once in a while, it's by fucking mistake. So, you got a disease called reasonableness. And it's worse than AIDS. And all of you have it. You're so reasonable. You got the wit of less wit than a frog. And wit of a stone. Fucking stunned, all of you. You know, the United States thinks it can bugger hump the world for free. The world can't do anything to it because we got all the biggest guns and everything. We'll treat our own citizenry as if we're an occupying force. Fuck, unless you're dead. Put John Anastasia in a prison somewhere, forget about you. Might have an accident, resisting arrest on the way there, or, you know, all kinds of things go on. jail guards in California are really a piece of work. Got videos of them kicking and punching inmates when they're tied down to their bed. Men are so sexually perverted that they fucking torture children to death to get some kind of sexual release. And probably didn't even get a good come out of that. I don't know. A girl in India, 5 years old. No murders. And it hurts me to see it. But it also hurts me to see, the heads of little Palestinian girls blown off the top of their shoulders. It hurts me to see, kids unearthed in a bunch of rubble, 2 weeks old. Yeah, 2 weeks dead. Maybe a year old. So, you're mentally ill, all of you, and this is the time, this is the last day, and I know many of you don't think you really need to pay too much attention to me or this message, and that would not be accurate. Understand, like, what happened in Boston, what happens in Iraq and Iran is starting to happen here, and will happen here more, much more, continue to happen here. The more perverse justice gets, and the more ignorant the enforcement of that becomes, the more retaliatory effect and more effective retaliatory expressions can be taken by the population. It's just, it's a metaphysical law, you dumb fucks. There's a whole host of laws that are unknown to you because you're too dim-witted to be bothered noticing them. You've actually noticed them, you just can't figure them out, so you just put them on the shelf as stuff that might have something to do with something, but it's beyond our ability to grip, so we give up already. And spiritual stuff and scientific stuff are mutually exclusive. You just can't be having those two. They can't agree because Richie Dinkins would have a fit. Understand how stupid, fucking pathetic you are. 5,000 years, and the physicists have finally determined that you really cannot tell which is going around which, whether the Earth is going around the Sun or whether in fact the Sun is going around the Earth. Basically, you finally figured out that you know nothing. But you know this with some eloquence, and so you're teaching the eloquence to your children and knowing that the result is going to be non-profitable. But that's not your problem. You don't have to think. You're not paid to think about that anyway. No. I need to get you fixed. And I look at how mentally ill and perverted you are. And I want to find another universe to move to. Quick. Anyway, I'm your King of Kings. I love you. Whether you're in Poland, the United States, whether you're in Romania, Japan, China, Taiwan, Australia, Great Britain, Norway, anywhere. Bulgaria, Hungary, Iceland. You're mine. You belong to me. And we're here to get a job done. We're here to bring the promised land to planet Earth. And the evil and the shit that God has been predicted for thousands of years. And this is the time. This is the place, and you're at bat, you count, and you are where you are. The music has stopped. This is the last day. And the truth is your only road to salvation. If you don't start worshiping it, you're going to start sinking in consciousness below where you already are. like Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world, and he wasn't kidding. And, I always felt it was a bit terse of God to leave Moses, outside the promised land. I mean, we stayed around for 40 years in his service, poof, out the door Moses, used up. But both Moses and Allah knew that was not the promised land. That was some territory. The promised land is a condition of consciousness, just like heaven, like hell, and at present time available constructs that many, well, all 7 billion of you are living in one of the constructs, but hundreds of thousands have moved into the promised land. And more are coming every day. And we want you to come too. Just leave your baggage outside the doors. That's all your stolen stuff. All your resentments, your bitterness, your hatreds, your jealousies, your angers, your resentment, your irritations with whoever. I don't care whether your uncle molested you when you were 1, your grandfather killed your father, or whatever the story is in your family and your life. The thing that you won't let go of is the thing that won't let go of you either, and so you have to stay stuck with that thing. That's not enlightening. Conduct is not going to help you. So basically, you need to worship the truth. Look inside yourself, that's where it starts. Worship the truth. Sit in stillness. Take time to be with yourself. Get to know yourself, the truth about who you are. And speak this to your fellows. No matter what it is. You'll find that it has value for others. Like Alcoholics Anonymous, millions of people all over this world who are at a deadly disease. It's going to kill them. It was in their minds. But it's a killer disease. And I knew it. I couldn't stop. Until they practiced these 12 steps. And so basically what is required of the whole human race is a very in-depth, massive 4th step. And so if you have any doubts about the validity or the veracity of what we speak, ask any recovered alcoholic or recovering alcoholic if he thinks it would have been a good idea for his sobriety to not bother doing his 4th step. Right? Because you need help. This is going to work. It's worked before. It's working already now. It's going to work for you. It's going to work for this whole globe. I'm your king. I need this world working. For everyone. But working for you first. Before me, even. I'm your servant. I'm here to help. And some of you are going to be upset with me. That's tough. I'm your dad. How else do you think I got this job? My winning personality. My political correctness, my political astuteness. My quick hand job at a cocktail party. So I love you. Help me love you. Worship the truth. Miracles will happen, I promise. If they don't, they don't, you can blame me to my face in public and I'll apologize. And you never listen to another thing I say, and you go around town and say, that Blake Cushing is a complete jerk. He says stuff that's not true. And I will be
unable to do anything but a plunge. But if I'm right, and I am, but if I'm right, I figure you owe me a coffee and a pass it forward. Alright? You do.